the Lady the FF community since April of 2021. So we're coming up on almost 4 years now. And in that time, she has learned quite a lot. But I'm going to step back here and I'm going to let Natalie and Mal pretty much run this conversation. So, Natalie, to start, thinking back to before Lady the FF. So, prior to April 2021, what was your life like and what had you tried in the past when it came to health and fitness?
Oh, I don't know where to start. I'm like everybody else. I kind of did a little bit of everything, and but when I was younger, I was a gym rat. So I did go. I did have a gym membership, and I'd go after work for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, just like punishing myself on the cardio machine and weights, and then like the nutrition was off. I was a smoker. It was more about vanity, right? Looking good, being a certain size. Because growing up, I was a little chubby and I was teased, like like a lot of us have that similar story. So I was a gym rat, and I lost weight. I was thin, but I wasn't healthy. So even on the outside, I looked like a certain way. On the inside, I was dying. I was not happy. I was still insecure. I was still awkward. I was still very critical, very harsh on myself, putting myself down. And I was like 138 pounds. And people would say, "My God, you look so good," but I was always very, very, very critical. So there was a lot of like mental issues going on there. And then at 24, I got really sick. So at 24, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And that was a nightmare. And ever since then, because I'll be 48 in a few months. Oh my God, just saying that is scary. Okay. Um, for the longest time, I angry because I thought I was healthy, but then I felt betrayed, like your body betrays you. So I was going to the gym. I was the one eating salads, and then I got really sick. So for years, I was angry and I put on a lot of weight. And then as soon as I got better, or as soon as my treatment was over, I got married. I got pregnant right away. Then I had a stillborn at 20 weeks. So that was another thing to kind of add to my body betraying me. So I kind of shut down further. But then I did end up having a daughter. And then my second daughter came really fast. So I had two small kids back to back, and I was lost. And there was a lot of postpartum things going on, but you don't talk about it. You cope with food. My husband was working nights, so I was home alone by myself with two small kids. One of my daughters was colicky, and I was lost, and I was broke, and I don't know what was going on. So then I decided, let me go back to school. So I became a teacher, and so then that worked out well. And my kids got older, and I was approaching 40, and I thought, let me let me get my life back. Well, then at 40, I had another baby, a whoopsie, a whoopsie, who I love, like I love her. And then COVID came. And then I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so unhappy. I want to get back into it. I don't know what to do. And I did the 10-pound boot camp thing, and I did the cabbage soup thing, and I did you name it, I did it, and nothing was working. And I stumbled upon your page on Instagram. I don't know. I guess being home with COVID, everybody was on their phones anyway, and I saw the challenge promo, and I thought, "Oh, that looks good." But I was so nervous and so shy and so embarrassed and so awkward and just so no confidence, and I didn't want to do it. And then I just did it. I joined, and I started working with Rima, who was great, right? And she was hard because she gives you that tough love approach, which is what I needed to hear. And basically, stop making excuses for yourself, because yes, you are busy. Who isn't busy? Who hasn't had trauma? Who hasn't had hardships? But that's the point, though. The fitness and movement will actually help you. So I had to learn to trust my body again. So I've been, I don't even know if I'm answering your question, but that's kind of like where I am now. So I'm almost 50, but even though now I'm healthier, it's more now the emotional, the overcoming the because I would lose a couple pounds and then self sabotage. So then you got to go really deep, and you got to really figure out what it is that's locked somewhere in my brain. And a lot of women do that. We're very hard on ourselves. If we don't see progress right away, we just give up. If you're not a certain size, you give up. And being an older woman, where the culture is so obsessed with youth and looking young and being young. Sometimes you feel you shouldn't be working out. Like, what's the point? I'm almost 50. When I was a kid, a 50-year-old woman was an old, like, grandma type of looking woman. So why I love this program so much is because you have women of all ages and sizes, and we're shattering all those stereotypes that you can look good as you get older. Actually, a lot of your women that I see and follow the stories and stuff, like, a lot of these women look really good, like really hot. And it's like, I want to look like that. And it's possible and it's necessary. And now that I have three daughters, it's even more important that I really not only tell them how to do it, but I have to show them how to do it, because kids learn by watching. You model the behavior, otherwise you're a hypocrite and they won't follow you. So it's been a long journey, but I'm starting to unlock a lot of that now. And Mal knows, because I vent to her, through the app, just venting. But sometimes that's necessary. And
Yeah.
the
No,
mind body can, I mean, because we eat, because it's so like mental and emotional, not just physical. So why I love this program as well is that you address all that and you appreciate that. Whereas some programs, it's all the physical, which is good, but you have to really also talk about the mental and the emotional and the psychological, and put that all together, because it does affect your physical.
and I think something that you said, Natalie, that it always stood out to me, working together for the time that we've worked together, is how much you don't do it as much now, but how much, like you said, you grew up thinking a 50-year-old was like an old lady. What's the point of looking hot or being super strong? Where you were subconsciously sabotaging yourself every time you made a little bit of progress. You were like,
Hmm.
then you're like, it was a bad week. This is what happened. I couldn't do anything. And then we talk about it again, work through this. So I think the fact that you did a lot more internal work yourself with,
Hmm.
you know, the guidance of the community, us discussing, what is hindering you breaking that, wall for yourself, has allowed you to get to the point you are today, where you're like, yeah, I am going to do a photo shoot this year. I am going to, look my best. Yep. Just doing a photo shoot. I am going to, like,
I didn't say yes though, did I? Like, did I say
yeah,
yes?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You said
It
okay.
yes.
said yes
Yeah.
for you.
Date to be determined, but yes. But
Oh, oh dear.
figuring
Okay.
having these things, some of my clients that are on here probably are laughing because I've been doing the same thing to them as well. I wouldn't call it bullying. It's just a very like lovely push to that direction. But no, I think something that I want you to share with the women here, because it was, as a coach, there's always, with every single woman that I've ever worked with that have come and gone, there's always something in their journey that stands out to me where I'm like, this is something that I will always remember when I, think of this person that I'm working with. And for me, with you, it was you telling me that you were confident enough to become an author, and
Mhm.
actually you've been a writer most of your life, but to have the courage to be like, I'm going to pursue this passion of mine, and I'm not going to, I'm just going to take the chance. And so I want you to share with everybody, that kind of journey for you through the confidence you built with working with Lead That Up in the community.
Yeah, okay. So like, confidence, I think, is always something that I'll struggle with. And but yeah, I've always been writing, and even as a cancer survivor, people have always asked me to talk about it, or go to this thing and talk about it, or go to this event and talk about it, or you should write something down and put it out there. And I was always so terrified of that, because I didn't want to go up in front of people, and talk, and I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I sounded, and I'm very harsh, very critical. And I'm a teacher. I talk in front of people all day. So people thought, well, why aren't you? It must be so easy for you. But it's hard. It's harder. But when you're working with little kids, it's not as they're actually, you're not. I'm not as scared as them as I am of putting myself out there, like making my Instagram public. That was hard for me. And when I would get my publisher, when it got to the marketing part, she's like, you have to put yourself out there. You have to make yourself public. You have to get out there and speak and talk to everyone. And that would make me go into a panic attack. And I couldn't do it. So for years, I had all these stories. I had my cancer journey that people wanted me to talk about, but I didn't talk about it for years and years, until someone one day said to me, you sound very selfish, because you could be helping so many people in all these years, and you're not, because you're so worried about what you look like. Like, you sound very shallow. And that kind of hit me a little bit, and I felt really ashamed. And then I don't know what it was. I don't know what there was a thing or one certain event or something you said or something I saw, and I just thought, I'm not going to be scared anymore. I don't care anymore. Like it's like we have to stop doing that to ourselves. Because women are so hard on themselves and on each other. Like, I was always growing up being very afraid of what men thought of me, but it was all, even women can be very nasty. And so that was hard for me to get over. But that's why I love this community, because there's no judgment. It's very positive. You get constructive criticism, but in a good way, which I appreciate. So it gives you that. So someone like me that's so scared to go, you push very gently until you finally just say, well, can I swear? Can I swear? Oh, like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. And then I started doing it like baby steps. But I know in October I was asked to speak at an event, and I had to get on stage and go up in front of a room of like 500 people and tell my story. And I still shit my pants. It was like the scariest thing I ever did, but I felt so good because it was my pants were loose and I felt good. And then, when you work out, like, your skin is better, you're not as bloated, like it's the whole thing, like you
Yeah.
feel so much better. So you stand better, you're not thinking about what you look like. And
Well,
I don't think
Natalie,
yeah.
do you think that before Lay the F Up, before you came into this community, that you would have ever stood up in front of an audience of adults to talk about your story?
No, never. Oh, never. I never would have done it. I just there's no way, because I was just so afraid and so worried about what I looked like and what people were going to say. Um, and I don't think I would have done it if. And then even like all the little like, you can do it, you can do it. Like Mal's always sending me little emojis and things like that. Like, you can do it, yay, yay. Like, just you need that cheerleader there, and sometimes you need that person to push you. And I don't think I would have if you guys weren't around, because like I said, I like how you appreciate not the physical, but the mind, the body, there's a whole, like, it's a lifestyle. You can't just do something for a few months and then, because I did that. I would do that. I would sign up for something, and then when it was over, I'd go back to where I was, because you're not fixing your head. You have to fix your mind.
And
And
Natalie,
yeah.
that pattern we see very, very regularly with the women that come to us is they've had a history of aggressive exercise and dieting and then falling off. And what you named, I know a lot of these women kind of jumped on 10-ish minutes late.
Mhm.
But one of the things that you named very early was when you were younger, you were at the gym on the cardio machines and you used the word punish, to punish myself. And it came from
Mhm.
vanity. So when the nervous system detects this environment is not safe, when we go to the gym and when we push ourselves and when we exercise, that leads to losing body fat, us having a negative sense of self, lack of
Mhm.
safety. It takes a really, really long time to build and retrain the nervous system to be like, oh no, this process is actually safe. And you can't do it alone. You can't do it in 60 days. But the fact that you have stayed on for almost 4 years now and built that relationship and that sense of safety with Mal, where you can reach out to her and be like, hey, I'm struggling, or like, I didn't follow everything as I should have. And I know, but Mal doesn't like ban you and be like, no, you're out of Lady the F Up. It's like, okay, that's like, thank you for coming to me. Building that sense of safety is so important. And self-sabotage, for anyone that experiences quote unquote self-sabotage, it's literally just your nervous system trying to keep you safe based off the history of what your training and nutrition and dieting history was, being like, whoa, every time we did that, we had too much and it all just
Mhm.
came at once and we didn't have enough recovery or love as the foundation. So we're going to remember that when we go back to that, our initial things that pop up is, oh, this isn't safe. We want to revert back to the familiar comfort that is dysfunctional. So I just want to
Mhm.
say that you have done an incredible job of showing up for yourself consistently. Even like, I've been in this for almost a decade now, and I notice those self-sabotage, aka safety patterns popping up and food reflexes wanting to come in and shut down. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I notice you now and I'm a lot more aware, and you can bring that compassion. So the fact
Mhm.
that you're here and you're almost 4 years in, I love that you're sharing. Okay,
Oh, thank you.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. And in women too, like moms, like I'm a mom, like we always put ourselves last. We put everybody ahead, and then we let ourselves go. And I don't want to be like that lady. You know, when I was a kid, like I said before, when I was a kid, a 50-year-old woman was like those old ladies with those house coats, and they looked frumpy. And I don't want to look like that. And now I see exercise as I'm grateful. Like I still had, like I was sick. I couldn't walk. I was very sick. Now it's like, you know, maybe the cancer saved me. It kind of shook me because, when you have adversity, it pushes you out of your comfort zone. And I wrote about that in the first book that I wrote, and that led to a children's book. But now it's leading to other books, to other speaking things, because I always tell people adversity is so good. Like, we use it to make excuses for ourselves. And sometimes, yeah, you want to have have a bad day, but adversity, hardship is like, I say embrace it. With that said, I don't encourage it. I don't want it. But when it happens, I always say now to my students and to my children, things happen. That's happening for you, not to you. Like you'll see, it's actually good. And exercise is not punishment. We should be grateful that you can move and you can exercise. And I find that that's now a coping. Before it was hiding, it was eating. I'm like a lot of women. I would secretly eat, and then I would come home and say, "Oh, I'm not hungry. Oh God, I'm not hungry," and then I wouldn't have dinner. But I knew what I did. I'd have like a secret combo, like number one, like McDonald's or Wendy's. And then I would come home and then I would eat dinner. And then I'm like, I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. But I knew, and you almost feel ashamed of it. But now I see food as it's nourishment. It's to help fuel you. It's okay to eat. It's okay to indulge. Like there's balance, which is another great thing you guys talk about. It's not like you eat chicken and sweet potatoes forever and ever. You can indulge, but I was hiding and I was using food to cope, for things that, had happened. Even as a kid, there's a lot of traumatizing things that happened when I was a kid. And you have to kind of face that. And so I was just eating and hiding.
And I
Now I
think,
went, right.
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I was going to say, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say on that thought of the eating, I know that you also struggled with family functions because from the type of family that you're from, just a lot of food, a lot, that's how when you're cooking, how they show love. So then it was kind of like a struggle there that you didn't want to offend anybody. And then it ended up putting you in situations where you'd be like consuming more alcohol than you would want, or ideally
Mhm.
what is beneficial for your body. And then it would, kind of derail your mindset, and like the brain fog was getting worse. So you've really come a long way from that. But I'm sure a lot of women can relate to just having certain, depending on the type of family background you come from. And,
Yeah.
that makes a big difference as well with being in that environment and having that kind of
There's pressure. I mean, I'm Italian. My family's Italian. So the first day of the challenge, January 5th, my grandmother turns 90, and we're at this restaurant, and I'm panicking because I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I just sat there. I'm like, nope, no, thank you. I'm good. Thank you. And it's hard because you see all the things going passing around, and and then there's a sweet table. And my mother makes these delicious homemade cookies. And I'm just like, nope, nope. And I don't want to tell anybody what I'm doing because then they start, oh, come on, come on. Your coach is not here. Oh, big deal. What's a cookie? But that's the whole point. And so you have to really, really, it was really hard. And it was, January 5th. And I'm like, you know what? Why? I'll just have a drink. Who's going to know? But then I know. That's the point. I know. And so, you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. So I said, no, I will not. And social pressure from Italian, European, I mean, a lot of cultures have that pressure. If you don't eat, you're going to offend people. And being thin is like seen as unhealthy. It's like it's healthy to be fat. I don't know. It's like this weird thing. Or women shouldn't be fit. Women shouldn't go to the gym. It's not ladylike to lift weights or something, like all this nonsense. And I just think it's stupid. Like, and so the social pressure, because you're not going to stay home and never go out again. As a teacher, staff rooms are vicious places because there's always food, there's always chocolates, and so now I have all this. So I think I took a picture and I put on the Facebook challenge because I got like 10 boxes of Ferrero and I can't eat them. So I thought, let me just give them away. But then I'm like, no, that's the point. So I have them in a pile, and they stare at me, and I stare, and I just talk to them, and I know they're talking to me because they're evil. but I want those chocolates. But I'm like, no, I will let you sit there and I will, because I'm in control. That's the whole thing. Like, and so before I would have given them away or I would have eaten them. And now there's a whole pile, and I put little updates. People must think I'm crazy, but that's kind of like, for me, the challenge is not even the movement. It's overcoming the temptations for food. Like today I was at the mall and I'm walking and I see this place, they sell these pastries. I'm like, oh my God, I really want a pastry. Like, God, I'm dying. I haven't had anything since January 5th. And no, nothing. I had almonds in my purse and water, and that was it. keep going, keep
Will
walking.
always be there. I'm curious, Natalie, because you started with us back in 2021 with a challenge, and that challenge marketing, you were like, yeah, 60 days, I'm all in. We're 11 days into this 60-day challenge. What is different from the one that you did in 2021 compared to this one?
Different. I just like I'm a whole different mindset because the last couple of years, through the working and the confidence building, I've tackled a lot of mental stuff. I've done a lot of work on myself um, and publishing the books and writing and speaking. So now it's coming from a place of, it's almost like before I didn't feel like I deserved to be successful, and I'm going to fail because that's what's, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, because those are the voices that are in your head. But now it's like, no, I deserve it. Like I want to try. I am as good as everybody else. Like I said, women especially are really hard on themselves, and a lot of us have those voices in our head that were put there, and we don't even realize they're there. But in the last 4 years, I've been slowly trying to quiet that voice, or at least confront her and tell her to be quiet. And she'll always be there, I think. But now the difference is that I really want this now. I'm enjoying it now. Before it was like, oh my God, 60 days. But now it's like, oh, 60 days. It's like, I just see things differently now. So I'm actually enjoying it in a weird way. Even though it's like some days I'm like, oh my God, I really
I
want a
think
burger.
I think that's one of the best things that I find about Lady the F Up in our community, especially with women that have. So if you're new on here or you've been with us, for women that have been with Lady F Up for a few years, having the mindset shift is something that you will have for the rest of your life. You will never go backwards because you come too far with your mindset, the confidence, and just viewing what exercise and what, whole foods and living a certain life does for you, not just internally having that connection and no longer having that kind of disconnection, or being able to drown that little voice in the back of your head being like, you suck, you're not good. Being able to be in control of all of those variables, it's like, it's a gift that you gave yourself that you will be able to continue to fine tune as you continue your process. And I think, a lot of the women here, whether I've seen your journey or I've seen your transformations, or I just know from, working with, talking, all of us coaches communicate about the successes of all our women, but being able to hear very similar shifts is such a great thing. And, I always just love hearing this kind of shift in people's journeys because it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And even the testimony I sent to you, you put it online. You're like, "Oh, send me testimony."
I
And
did.
even that I would never have done. Like, and I did it in like no makeup in my basement, looking like completely haggard. It was a long day, and you put it out there, and I never ever would have done that.
And you know what, Natalie? I didn't ask you until now because I know you would not have done it. And
No,
only
yeah.
now where I was like, I think you should do this.
And even
If you
now,
want.
but I still stalled. I was like, oh, okay, I'll do tomorrow. I'll do tomorrow. Oh, January 1st, I'll do it tomorrow. And then but then one night I just did it. And that's the thing. You just, it's just, you just do it. Now it's different. I'm different now. And saying no and putting up boundaries, like my family, like I can't I can't go right now. Mommy has to go. I have to be down. I have to do my steps. I have to do my upper weights. I have to meditate like say no. And sometimes being selfish is what you need to do, but you're not being selfish because you're taking care of yourself, because you'll be a better person if you take care of yourself. Like like I said, I have 3 daughters, so I have to show them. I can tell them how to be healthy and how to take care of yourself, but you have to show them how it's done. And sometimes you have to say no, um, because you got to take care of what you got to take care of for yourself, and then you can. The next thing I'm going to try to do now, this is hard because I'm not a morning person. I'm going to try to get up early, like 5, get the workout in before the day starts. I started doing that for a bit and then that didn't work out because, like I said, baby steps here. But that's my next little challenge to myself. I'll keep you posted.
And that challenge there for anyone, myself included, I'm not a morning person. I got to the gym at like 9 o'clock this morning. I was like, oh, what am I doing? I normally train noon or afterwards. But waking up early, whether it's
Mhm.
to train or to take care of whatever you need to do, it trains your quote unquote willpower muscle in your brain. So there's a region of your brain called the anterior mid cingulate cortex, aka your AMCC. So think of this as your willpower muscle. When you do things that you enjoy, so if you really like resistance training and you don't mind tracking your macros, AMCC not engaged. But if you despise getting up before it is light outside,
Yeah.
doing that day after day will help strengthen that AMCC region, which then makes it easier to say yes to the things that you don't necessarily want to do and no to the chocolate that's sitting there being like, don't you want to eat me?
Yeah.
So for anyone listening to this, engage in behaviors that you don't like doing because you know it's going to be for your greater good and it will help strengthen your mental willpower muscle.
That's true. Yeah.
Waking up has been my goal for weeks, haven't quite been successful yet. Put your phone out of your bedroom. I talked about
Yeah.
that in last week's call. That was one of my habits that I am leaving in 2024. So that your alarm, you physically have to get out of bed and turn it off rather than just snooze, 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 snooze. That'll,
Yes. Baby steps.
yeah. So Natalie,
Yes.
how have these choices that you have made for yourself since April impacted the people around you? So like you said, you got some girls, you have a family. What have they noticed? How has it impacted your circle?
Well, they've noticed that I'm a lot more relaxed, more happier, and more willing to do things because I'm a little bit lighter. My pants are looser. Like you just physically you look better, but even mentally you're more eager. You're more willing to do things. You're up for more adventure because you just get like all this extra energy. So I find that when the days that I don't work out or if there's periods where I kind of fall off and I kind of don't incorporate movement, I'm much different. But for me, and I also struggle with like a lot of mental health issues too. So I find that when I have a walk or a workout or really strong weights, sometimes that just changes everything. And then they notice that I'm more approachable. Like my kids they say I'm more approachable. I don't have the mean mom face. Um, or I'm up for like, yeah, well, let's go here, let's go there. I'm more fun, I guess, because you know, like yeah, you just have this energy. You just feel invigorated. And I find that when the days I don't move or the days I don't eat well, especially when I don't eat well, I'm much more grumpier and I snap more. I'm more disorganized too. Another thing too about working out and being fit and eating, a lot of prep goes into the lifestyle. So you can't prep your meals if your kitchen's a mess. So you have to clean your kitchen and you have to prep your food and you want your workout clothes, you got to find them, you got to wash them, you got to fold things, you got to put them away. Your bed's got to be like everything's got to be neat and orderly, which I already kind of was, but it kind of fell off the last couple of years. And now I find that my house is cleaner. I've purged a lot of old stuff that I don't need anymore. My house is cleaner, it's more organized. Like everything kind of just runs smoother when I'm in that when I'm on all those cylinders. And it does come from the movement and the eating properly. When I don't eat well, like I said, I get a lot of headaches, I get prone to migraines, and I'm out for days. Whereas now it's not so bad. So mom is more fun when she's able to be up and drive around and do stuff. Whereas before, if I'm hiding or if I'm having an episode and and I just want to eat by myself in the basement, like nobody really wants to hang out with a grumpy person like that. So I think that's where they've noticed it. Because like Sunday, we're going tubing. I hate winter. I hate tubing. I hate it all. But they really want to go, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Why not? Because now I can actually probably walk up the hill and not feel like I'm going to die after 10 minutes. Like I'll probably still be out of breath, but I won't be so bad because I'm in a lot more shape now than I was before. So I guess my kids would say I'm more fun now.
Would you call yourself more fun? Like, do you have more fun existing in your day to day?
Absolutely, because now I see joy in a lot of things, and like I said, now I'm writing more, and I'm like the writing has really come out now because I just feel like it's just so invigorated. Like I said, you want to change, you want to change your bad mood, go for a walk. Walks are great, and you'll just be so different. So my writing has really come out more, and now that if I go through like a writer's block, a workout or yoga or something will just kind of get those creative juices going. So I find that even with creativity, I'm much more creative when I've already exerted myself, because the exercise, like, it's like a vessel to get all that bad energy, all those bad thoughts out. So I'm actually much more, my head is clearer when I've worked out. So my writing has gotten a lot better. Like just a lot of, like, I don't even know where to start. Like everything just seems to be a lot better when I'm exercising regularly and consistently. And like I said, though, not every day is perfect because, I am human. So some days, yeah, I don't, give it all I have. At least it's something. And some days, yeah, you'll have like fries or something. But I've been really good since just before Christmas. But since the challenge, like this challenge, I can honestly say I've been like no chips, no secret French fries, no, those chocolates stare at me and they're still in the box. Like it's different now. So, like I said, stay tuned.
Mal, when you started working with Natalie, because you weren't
Yes,
part of our coaching staff in April of 2021. So when you
I
took her
was not.
over compared to where she is now, what do you think has been the biggest aspect in terms of working with you where she's seen that shift?
When was the biggest, what part of
Just
the
like
aspect?
what she does on a regular basis in terms of utilizing yourself in the program to be able to get here.
I think communication with me. I think the biggest thing, and I always tell women this, but you, Natalie, specifically, is you're building a relationship with your coach. And I think the more that you feel safe enough to be vulnerable with us, or you were vulnerable with me in letting me know about some personal stuff that you were struggling with your family and things that were going on, it allowed me to approach certain things differently, because I truly don't think that just eating healthy and exercise is going to make you stronger and make you feel better. It's if there is something going on that is beyond maybe even you recognizing, and exercising has kind of brought it out, which I think for you, a lot of the trauma that you had from your youth, it came out through movement. And so for you being vulnerable with me and communicating with me when you were struggling, I think it helped, because sometimes you did need me to be tougher on you, and sometimes you needed me to just listen. And part of my job as your coach is ensuring that when me being tough is needed, it happens, and when you need me to just support you to work through it, that's what I'm here for. So I think that was the biggest shift, where she, which I know this is common. I think I know some women do struggle with this when they are feeling overwhelmed in their life, rather than reaching out for help, because you never have anyone to help you, being, whether you're a mom, you're somebody like have an executive position at work, or you are, or you're married, where people are always relying on you. So you didn't have, like, you just wouldn't reach out to me, and you would withdraw. So then I wouldn't hear from you, and I'm like, hey, where are you? What's going on? I'm gonna message you, like, until you like reach out. And I think breaking through that, where rather than withdrawing, you spoke out to me. that was really helpful for us to be able to get to where we are today, where you can stand up in front of people, you can go snow tubing, you know, you feel that you have a lot more in your life to be happy about and grateful for because of the way that you view it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. Thank you. You know, and life still keeps happening. You know, my mom's sick now. My mom's going through her own cancer treatments now. So that's what we're dealing with. And, you know, and again, more than ever, I see how fitness and lifestyle and eating right and doing all the right things is helpful. Is it a guarantee? No, but you want to be as healthy as you can so that when these things happen, you're much more able to handle and cope better. So even though I'm taking her to her treatment tomorrow, I'm still going to get my workout in before we go, because that will help cope. Because seeing her go through her battle is now it's sort of sparked my PTSD with myself. So, like I said, today I'm at the mall and I really, really wanted this cheese Danish like really badly because I know it's going to make me feel better and I want to feel sorry for myself because I had cancer and now my mom has cancer. But you can't do that though. You know, you have to be really strong. And ironically, eating better will probably not, you know, maybe not let you get cancer. But I mean, it happens even to the healthy people, right? So even though I really, really, I think that was a big thing today. I really, really wanted something from that food court. There's this store, I don't know, this Danish place. They sell these really good. I can't remember. It smells so good. And I was like, I kept walking by it too. And I was like, I really, really want something from that store. And I didn't. I bought almonds. I bought almonds. I bought boring almonds at Bulk Barn. That's what I did.
Okay, well, Natalie, I want you to stop talking about the Danish because it means it's still in your head. So what I think you do is use a rice cake,
I have the
melt some fruit on it, and it'll simulate. I know it's cheese, but
yeah.
it'll simulate a fruit because I'm like, you're gonna
Well,
go sleep
right.
dreaming
I know,
about the Danish.
but before it was like it's like a comfort, like, oh, you know, it's a
No,
comfort.
I
It's
know.
with
I'm
my
just
friend, you know, this will make me, and I
yeah.
didn't buckle, and you know that was really hard. But so, like I said, life keeps happening. Even though I've had all these things happen to me, life still happens. I mean, I have two teenagers. You know, they're not always fun, and it's very busy and very stressful. And but then again, I'm much more better to deal with them if my head is clear after I've
Yeah.
taken care of my to-do list first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it's got to be, you know. And as you get older, what the beauty of getting older is that you just stop giving a shit what people think and you don't even care anymore, and you're so much more comfortable with saying, well, no, like, why? Like, you have to give an explanation too. I think a lot of women do that. They have to explain themselves if they say no or why. Well, how come? Just because I fucking don't want to. Like, that's my answer. That's my answer now. I don't owe you anything. And that's the beauty of getting older too. So I say embrace getting older, because I wish I was like this 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But I guess that's part of evolving, you know. You're ready to be who you are when you're ready to be who you are. So now it's like, oh, Natalie, you want to? No, why? Because you don't have to explain yourself. And so, yeah, that's been a lot of fun too with getting older. But you guys are younger than me, so I don't even know if you know what I'm talking about. So,
What would you say to women right now who maybe they've just started their Lady
Mhm.
BFF journey, like scrolling through? I think we have a couple newbies. We have a couple that have been here for a few years now, like yourself. But even for those watching the replay, when they're like, "Ah, I don't know if this is something that I can continue with mentally, struggling, same way that you did, the self-sabotage thoughts pop up. What would you say to them?
I would say acknowledge what you feel, but then you have to make a choice. It's a choice you make. You're gonna continue feeling shitty, or you're gonna make excuses for yourself and blame the world and be angry, or you can take you can take some accountability and change what's you're unhappy about. Like, and nothing changes if nothing changes. You know, some people like being miserable. They like the victimhood. They like complaining. They like whining. And I was like that too. I'm not judging at all because I was like that. But you just have to just make a choice. That's all it comes down to. You make a choice and then you have to execute, because you could say one thing, you could say it, but then you got to actually apply it. And that's the challenge, right? You got all that adrenaline for the first 2, 3 days, and then you buckle. So that's why I was very nervous with January 1st. January 5th is the challenge, but I don't look at it as a New Year's resolution. It's just, this is who I am. Like, this is who I am now. It's not like I'm going to be different March 5th. This is now my new life. So I would say to people who are thinking about it, you have to choose yourself and commit to yourself, because you deserve it. You'll be a better person. You'll be a better partner, a better mom, a better worker. So just give yourself that gift, and it's choice. It's all it is. But I would definitely do it, because you're going to not regret it. Like I said in that testimonial, you won't regret it. And this is a great platform, because the women you'll meet and the women you talk to, you'll see that we're all in the same boat. Women are really, we still do a lot in our lives. Like, we work and we have households, and whether you're doing one or both, whatever, we have to stop being also harder on ourselves, because we deserve to look good and feel good. And so I like the handle, the L, lady the F up, because sometimes that's what you have to do, is just fuck off and do it. Like, just like, that's it. Like, just, and it's not always pretty, and it's going to suck. Cause like I said, I was at the mall today. I really wanted a treat, and sometimes you can't. But
I
that's
like
the
that
way it goes.
slogan.
Yeah.
I think I might use that hashtag. Fuck
Which
off
one?
and do it.
Just fuck off and do it. Or people ask you like, well, how come you don't want to come? Because I don't want to. Why? Fuck you. That's my answer. There's no, I don't owe you anything, so I would say to
Fuck
all
you,
the
that's
women,
my answer.
yeah, just fuck off, just fuck, no.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's why I really like Rima, because I love, I love it. I love swearing. I think swearing's great. I don't know why, especially teachers, you can't swear. Teachers swear, we swear. But I would say, anyway, I hope I think I answered your question. If anyone's on the fence or not sure, just do it. Like, that's all. Just make a choice and do it. And you won't regret.
I love it. I want to open the chat. I know some ladies have been putting in some comments throughout. If you guys have any questions for Natalie, Anna just wrote, "Thank you for sharing it all. Hope it all goes in your and your mom's favor tomorrow and beyond." So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's halfway through radiation. So thank you for that. She's got breast cancer. It's not easy. And then you go there and you see all these other people that are really sick. So it brings it all back to you, to me anyway. And it's very humbling. And again, more than ever, how diet, exercise, and how it really impacts your health, and how you really have to take care of your body. And so it's a good reminder also for me to stick with this challenge and not give up. And so hopefully she'll start making some healthy changes too, because she's not the healthiest. But it is what it is. Like I said, life will always keep happening. So it's how you react. You can always control the reaction. You can't control maybe what happens to you, but you can always control how you react to it. It's always a choice. That's, I think, what I've learned in the last 4 years. I could choose to be a miserable cow, or I could choose to be, a much healthier person. Am I a miserable cow sometimes? Yes. But that's life.
I love it. Final question here for you, Natalie, and that is, what is next? So I know you're in the 60-day challenge. So from now until March, that's kind of locked in. But what do you have planned? What sort of goals do you have for yourself for 2025 and beyond?
Well, apparently I signed up for this photo shoot, but I never signed anything. So I don't know.
No. It's no, but that was something that we talked about.
We talked about, okay, maybe we'll see. I don't know. Stay tuned. So there's the 10K Sporting Life 10K that I've signed up to, and this time I want to actually like run the whole thing. That's in May. I have hopefully another speaking event in the spring. Another children's book's coming out hopefully later this year. I have a conference in June that hopefully they'll choose me to be a speaker at again. It's just more writing projects, more types of things like this, like getting out there, putting my story out there, trying to inspire other women like real women, like real talk, um, and just see just see where it goes from there. I'm just saying yes to everything. I'm not saying no. Like, people, like, even Mal brought this up. I'm like, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad that you came on and spoke with us. And yes, because you're saying yes to everything. This is why you're going to be doing a photo shoot. But we also, what you should do as well, which I just thought of it now because we've been posting about we're going to do a lot more Lay the F Up community events, but something that all of you women on here too should do the Mud Girl Run, because that's a lot of fun and you can bring your daughters to do it with you as a community event, because I think it's 5K in total, right?
Yeah,
The
it's
obstacle course.
in
Yeah.
June. I want to say it's June 23rd. The event is in Mighty. When we do this as well, typically we do this as a community. So it's not like run and go hit a personal best. Like, a lot of times we just walk in between the obstacles and chat with each other, and then we do the obstacles together. So it's more of a community event than it is a fitness endurance-y race kind of thing. But we've had a couple of women be like, "Okay, see you at the finish line," and they go off and
Yeah,
hit their
which is
personal best.
totally fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But
Okay, that
don't
sounds
Bring your
like fun. Yeah. Okay.
if you
Yeah, and
don't
she's going
like
to continue
running,
to get better.
you
Yeah.
don't have to run.
No, she's going to do the full. That's a goal. You're going to run the full 10K. So we'll definitely work on prepping for it post challenge. But Natalie, I wanted to ask for the ladies here, can you share what your children's book, what it's called? I'll write it in the chat.
Yeah, it's called The Three Caterpillar Sisters. It's on Amazon. It's a children's book, and it's basically based on them. It's a conversation I heard them having, and ironically, it's about overcoming the fear of change that is necessary with growth. I think I wrote it for
I love that.
myself. I think I wrote it for myself. And it's just the little sister. She's just upset because she knows she has to change, and the older sisters kind of help her to overcome that fear. But when you overcome that fear of change, at the other side, a whole beautiful new life awaits for you. So
Sounds
it's
like
called
the Lady F Up journey that
yeah,
you're
pretty much.
on.
I think that's what my friend said. I think you wrote it for you, because this has been you the last couple of years. Like, you've been cocooning for so many years, and now
I
you're
love
finally.
that.
And people are coming like up to me, or messaging me, and I've had a lot of DMs. I also wrote, I co-authored another book where I specifically talk about my cancer journey and the survivor guilt that I felt for years. Survivor guilt is a real thing. And that's what crippled me. I almost felt guilty for exercise. It's like you feel guilty for wanting to be in shape because so many other people never got the second chance. I didn't even know that was a thing until in therapy they talked about PTSD. So it's almost like you're embarrassed to be in shape. You don't feel, you feel guilty to work out because I got a second chance and so many people don't. So I've had to work through that. And that's where the self-sabotage comes, because when you see a little micro gain, you sabotage it because you don't deserve it. So that's been huge. So that's another book I wrote. And when people send me messages and they say they're so inspired and now they're not afraid to come out, or not afraid to face that thing that's been keeping them locked inside, because everybody has that thing inside that they all face with. So I think I wrote that book, The Three Caterpillar Sisters. I ended up writing it for my kids. I think I wrote it for me. And so that was a wonderful experience. And I have another book coming out this year about a special needs boy. So hopefully that will come out this year, hopefully. But it's on Amazon. I don't know. It's called The Three Caterpillar Sisters.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you.
And Natalie, if you're free 2 Thursdays from now, so that is the 30th. I'm not sure if Mal's passed it on to you or not, but we are having a group of women that are cancer survivors on for a conversation. We'd love for you to be a part of that as well.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yes, we just came out with the date. I did not mention that to you. My apologies. But yes, make it on.
That'd be so great. Maybe other women could share or reiterate what I've been talking about. Because sometimes you feel alone, but I know there's other women that are feeling what I'm feeling. So yeah, of
Great.
course.
Well, we'll
I'd be
see.
honored. I'd be honored. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being open and vulnerable. You know, you mentioned that you were scared to put yourself out there previously, and here you are just being open and authentic, completely
Love
unfiltered.
it.
That's what we want at Lady the Fuck
Yes.
Up. So thank you so much. And to all of the ladies who tuned in, thank you as well. If you made it to the end of the replay, thank you for making it all the way. And we will be back next Thursday for a
Yes.
very heartfelt and open communication and conversation. Bye,
Well,
ladies.
thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.